Hello friends, in this module we will talk about the genetic code. Every living organism depends on a universal language called the genetic code. It is the system that converts the information stored in DNA into proteins which perform all the vital functions of life. In this lecture, we will understand what genetic code is and explore the important characteristics that make it precise, universal, and essential for life. So, what exactly is the genetic code? The genetic code is a biochemical dictionary that corresponds with the sequence of nucleotides and sequence of amino acids. It is actually a set of rules by which information encoded in genetic material is translated into proteins by the living cells. The term genetic code was given by George Gamow. So, how was this genetic code discovered? Our understanding about how proteins are encoded began only after the structure of DNA was discovered by James Watson and Francis Crick. George Gamow postulated that a three-letter code must be employed to encode the standard amino acids used by living cells to build proteins. Let us try and understand first the flow of the genetic information, which is also called the central dogma. We all know that the genetic information is stored in DNA. The DNA undergoes transcription to form an mRNA. So the information which is present in DNA is transferred to the RNA, and this RNA is then translated to form the proteins which perform all the vital functions of life. The genetic code actually uses ribonucleotide bases as the letters. So, as you can see here, this is the gene, the DNA template, which has the 4 letters ATGC. The DNA, the information on DNA is transcribed to form the mRNA. Each 3 bases here together form a codon, which codes for the different amino acids. For example, AUG here codes for methionine, GUG codes for valine, and this mRNA is then translated on ribosomes to form these proteins, which are made up of the necessary amino acids, which are coded by the mRNA, and the information on the mRNA is obtained from the information on the DNA. So, even though the genetic information is stored in DNA, the code that is translated into proteins resides in the RNA, just I told you just now. So, how are only 4 nucleotides used to specify the 20 amino acids? The 4 bases have been considered as the alphabets of the language of the nucleic acids and 20 amino acids as the alphabets of the language of the proteins. So, what is the sequence of nucleotides on the mRNA will decide the sequence of amino acids in the protein chain, and this led to the discovery of what we today call as the genetic code. The genetic code works to prepare a dictionary for translating the language of RNA into the language of proteins. The sequence of nitrogenous bases in the mRNA molecule, which encloses the information for the synthesis of protein molecules, is thus called the genetic code. The nucleotide or nucleotide sequence in mRNA, which codes for a particular amino acid, is known as the codon. The main problem of genetic code at that time was to determine the exact number of nucleotides in a codon which code for one amino acid. So, a single code consisting of only one nucleotide provides for just 4 codons A, C, G and U. These are insufficient to code for the 20 amino acids, as you can see here. So, the singlet code could code for only 4 codons, whereas we have at least 20 amino acids. Similarly, a combination of 2 nitrogenous bases that is a double code, provides for 4 into 4, that is 16 codons, which are still insufficient for the 20 amino acids. So a doublet code can code for 16 codons. George Gamow pointed out the possibility of a 3-letter code, that is, each codon consisting of 3 nitrogenous bases. This would give us 4 into 4 into 4, that is 64 codons, which are much more than enough to code for the 20 amino acids. So as you can see here, a triplet code would code for 64 codons and there are only 20 amino acids. The triplet code is the most acceptable one as it has found support from experimental evidences of both genetic and biochemical nature. The genetic code has been experimentally deciphered and perfected independently by Marshall Warren Nirenberg, Robert Hawley, and Hargobind Khurana, for which they were jointly awarded the Nobel Prize for Medicine and Physiology in 1968. We will talk about all the experiments which led to the deciphering of the genetic code in our next lecture after we had discussed today about the characteristics of the genetic code. So, the letters A, T, G and C correspond to the nucleotides found in the DNA. They are organized into codons. The collection of codons is actually called the genetic code. For 20 amino acids, there should be at least 20 codons. Each codon should have 3 nucleotides to impart specificity to each of the amino acid for a specific codon. So let us first try and understand what are the types of the codons. So this is the genetic code. As you can see in the table, we are talking about the triplet codon. So this is the first letter of the codon. This will correspond to the second letter of the codon. And then these are the third letters of the codon. So if you see, we have in total 64 codons. So let us see what are the different types of these codons. Codons are generally classified into sense codons and signal codons. Let us see what a sense codon is. It is the codon that codes for an amino acid and therefore it is called the sense codon. Whereas the signal codons are those that code for certain signals which are required during the protein synthesis. For example, AUG, UAA, UAG and UGA. There are two types of signal codons, the termination codons and the initiation codons. A reading frame of the genetic message always has a specific start and stop signals for protein synthesis. Let us see what these initiation codons are. AUG is the initiation codon. It codes for the first amino acid in all proteins. At the starting point, it codes for methionine in eukaryotes and formylmethionine in prokaryotes. In some cases, however, valine, that is GUG, codes for the start signals. GUG is used as an initiator codon only about 1/13 as frequently as AUG initiators in E. coli. In fact, UUG and CUG codons also specify initiation, although even more rarely than GUG. What are termination codons? Those codons that provide signal for termination of polypeptide chain synthesis are known as stop codons or termination codons. There are three termination codons: UAA, UAG and UGA. UAA is known as Ochre, UAG is known as amber and UGA is known as opal. Since stop signal codons do not code for any amino acids, they are also called as the nonsense codons. Let us now talk about the characteristics of the genetic code. The genetic code is a triplet code. It is commaless. It is non-overlapping code. It is a degenerate code. It is universal, non-ambiguous, and it also has polarity. Let us talk about each of these characteristics in detail. The first is that the genetic code is a triplet code. There are 64 codons. The code is triplet, which means that the three-letter code was first suggested by George Gamow, as we saw in the previous slides. A codon of the present-day genetic code that specifies one amino acid in a polypeptide chain comprises of a sequence of three nitrogenous bases on mRNA in a specific sequence. The first experimental evidence supporting the concept of a triplet code was provided by Crick and co-workers in the T4 bacteriophage. Crick hypothesized on the basis of the genetic code that the genetic code would be commaless, which is the second important characteristic of the genetic code. There are no punctuations or comma between the two codons in the genetic code. In other words, no codon is reserved for punctuations in the genetic code. The next important characteristic is that the genetic code is commaless. The next important characteristic is that the genetic code is non-overlapping code. Consider this hypothetical mRNA sequence here. If the genetic code is triplet and the DNA sequence is read in a non-overlapping manner, then this sequence has only three codons and specifies only three amino acids, that is AUG, CCC and AAG. Do you agree about this? However, if the DNA sequence is overlapping, then the sequence will code for 7 different amino acids. However, we know that the genetic code is a non-overlapping code. Even though the genetic code is non-overlapping, it is possible to read any DNA or RNA sequence in 3 different reading frames depending upon the starting point. For example, here, if we consider this as the first reading frame, then the first codon will be AUG, which codes for methionine. The second would be CCC, which codes for proline. And the third would be AAG, which codes for lysine. However, if the second reading frame starts from U, then the first codon will be UGC, which codes for cysteine. The second would be CCA, which codes for proline. And the third would be AGA, which codes for arginine. Consider the third reading frame, which starts from G. In this case, you will have GCC as the first codon coding for alanine. The second would be CAA, which codes for glutamine. And the third would be GAC, which codes for asparagine. So it means that the genetic code is non-overlapping, true. But depending upon the reading frame, it can code for different amino acids. The next important characteristic is the degeneracy of the genetic code. An amino acid can be coded for by more than one codon. This is called the degeneracy of the genetic code. When a particular amino acid is coded by more than one codon, it is called degenerate. For example, except for tryptophan and methionine, which have a single codon each, all other 18 amino acids have more than one codon. The code degeneracy is basically of two types. Partial degeneracy occurs when first two nucleotides are identical, but the third nucleotide of the degenerate codons differ. For example, CUU and CUC both code for leucine and they differ only in the third base here. Complete degeneracy occurs when any of the 4 bases can take third position and still code for the same amino acids. For example, UCU, UCC, UCA, UCG, all of them code for serine, where the third base is different in all the cases. However, the complete degeneracy here is exemplified by the fact that AGC and AGU also code for serine. Here, the first base is also different, and as a result of that, there are 6 different codons here which code for the same amino acid, that is serine. The next important characteristic is that the genetic code is universal. All life evolved from a common ancestor, and hence all species use the same mRNA codons to specify the same amino acids. The same genetic code is found valid for all organisms ranging from bacteria to man. Such universality of the code was demonstrated by Marshall, Cascade, and Nirenberg, who found that E. coli and guinea pig amino-acyl tRNA use almost the same code. Do you think there are any exceptions to the universality of the genetic code? Yes, the exception to the genetic code being universal is found in mitochondrial codons, where AUA codes for methionine and UGA codes for tryptophan instead of isoleucine and termination codon respectively of cytoplasmic protein synthesizing machinery. AGA, AGG code for arginine in cytoplasm, but in mitochondria they are termination codons. The next important characteristic is that the genetic code is non-ambiguous. The genetic code inside the cell medium is said to be non-ambiguous. A particular codon always codes for the same amino acid. One codon cannot specify more than one amino acid. However, the same amino acid can be coded by more than one codon. The next characteristic is that the code has polarity. The code has a definite direction for reading of message, which is referred to as polarity. The code is always read in a fixed direction, that is in the 5' to 3' direction. Reading of message from left to right and right to left will specify for different amino acids. For example, UUG stands for leucine, and from right to left it is GUU, which stands for valine. AAA, UU, mRNA always coded for lysine phenylalanine and never phenylalanine lysine, which proves that the code is polar and it is always read in the 5' to 3' direction. With this, we come to an end of this lecture where we have talked about the genetic code today and the important characteristics of the genetic code. In the next lecture, we will talk about the experiments which led to the deciphering of the genetic code. If you like the content of this channel, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. So see you again next week. Till then, thank you.